bhagavat chittaha smayan iva gata smayaha. Tam chodita shatra ajitnasunamnehi. Shri Shukaha Vacha. Shri Sukadeva Gosvami said, Saha, he, Maitreya Muni, Ittam, in this way, Choditaha, being agitated, Shatra, by Vidura, Tattva Jijñāsuna, by one who was anxious to inquire to know the truth. Munihi, the great sage, Pratyaha, replied, Bhagavat Chittaha, God conscious, Smayam, wondering, Iva, as if, Gata Smayaha, without hesitation. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O King, Maitreya, being thus agitated by the inquisitive Vidura, at first seemed astonished, but then he replied to him without hesitation, since he was fully God conscious. Please repeat. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O King, Maitreya, being thus agitated by the inquisitive Vidura, at first seemed astonished, but then he replied to him without hesitation, since he was fully God conscious. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since the great sage Maitreya was filled with God consciousness, he had no reason to be astonished at such contradictory questions by Vidura. Therefore, although as a devotee he externally expressed surprise as if he didn't know how to reply to those questions, he immediately became perfectly settled and properly replied to Vidura. Yasmin vijñāte sarvavemam vijñātam bhavati. Anyone who is a devotee of the Lord knows about the Lord to some extent, and devotional service to the Lord makes him able to know everything by the grace of the Lord. Although a devotee may apparently express himself to be ignorant, he is full of knowledge in every intricate matter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Vidura's inquiry in the last verse was, if the Lord is present as a super soul in every living being's heart, then why are the living beings suffering so much? He is personally present in every heart. So why is it that the living entities are in misfortune and misery? Why are they going through all this? Of course, before this he has made some further inquiries. And so, by hearing this inquiry, now Sukadeva Gosvami is explaining, Saha Maitreya Ittam Chodita Kshatra. Chodita means agitated. So Vidura's question agitated actually Maitreya, and Vidura is actually Tattva Jijñāsuna Munihi. He is very eager to inquire about the truth. As devotee, he is not interested in illusion, anything illusory. He is interested in Tattva Jijñāsa, only about truth. So then, Pratyaha, he replied, he settled, although he was initially astonished. Smayan means he is astonished by these questions, as if he doesn't know the answers. But then he settled, because he is Bhagavat Chittaha, he is fully God conscious, Krishna conscious, and then Gatasmayaha, without any hesitation, he started replying. We will see from the next verse, Maitreya explains why the living entities suffer, although the Lord is personally present with them. So here the important point is this Tattva Jijñāsa. Tattva Jijñāsa. Everybody has an aptitude for Jijñāsa. They have an inquisitive mind. Everybody has an inquisitive mind. So just now some elections are complete in some 5 states in our country. So some people are interested what is going to be the result. And there is a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. Interested to know what's going on. And some people, business people, they are looking at how it's going to impact their business. Everybody looks at this situation, but they have their own inquiry. The way a businessman inquires, the way a normal person inquires. So there is a difference, but everybody is inquisitive. They want to know what's going on. So that is called Jijñāsa. But the Shastra, it encourages Tattva Jijñāsa. Inquiry into Tattva. Tattva means that Bhagavatam famous verse, Vadanti Tattva Vidas Tattva. That is Tattva. Tattva means what is the truth? What is the ultimate truth? That has to be inquired. People should inquire into ultimate truth, that is Tattva Jijñāsuna. Why they should inquire into ultimate truth? Because that truth doesn't change. Any other truth, continuously they change. So you inquire today, about Russia and Ukraine war, but after say few days, there won't be any war. There may not be any Ukraine also. You studied so much about Ukraine, and there may not be any Ukraine anymore. And there may not be Russia. We don't know. Right? So, it appears to be truth, but actually these truths are temporary. That's why we should be focused on Tattva. Tattva Jijnasuna, ultimate truth. We are reading from Prabhupada's Lilamrita. When Srila Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta, he was explaining. Prabhupada is concerned about independence. Bhakti Siddhanta is saying you should preach in the Western countries. Prabhupada is saying, we are a dependent country. Even uncivilized nations like China and all that, they are independent. We are a dependent country. So who will hear your message? If some dependent country comes and tells you something, who will hear? They are all independent. So basically Prabhupada is feeling that maybe after independence, maybe people may hear us. So the Bhakti Siddhanta is saying, no, this dependence and independence, they are all temporary. Today you may be dependent, tomorrow you will be independent, temporary. But this message cannot wait. The message of Tattva, absolute truth. So, in 13th chapter, Krishna, he mentions about path of knowledge. How do we know that we are progressing in a path of knowledge? So then he explains that the path of knowledge always begins with amanatvam, humility. If somebody doesn't have humility, his path of knowledge has not begun. It has not started. And what is that humility means? That I am subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the humility. So as soon as somebody realizes, then his path of knowledge begins, and then he explains many items of knowledge, and in the end he says, Tattva jnanardha darshanam etad jnanam iti proktam. The last point is Tattva jnanardha darshanam. Here also Krishna is saying Tattva jnana. So, knowing the absolute truth, jnanardha darshanam, wanting to, darshanam means philosophy. Philosophy means darshanam, that which allows you to see the truth. Philosophy means it should help you have darshan of the absolute truth. This is darshanam means. This is philosophy means. The definition of philosophy is that it should show you, you should be able to have darshan of the truth. So that's why Krishna is saying Tattva Jnanardha Darshanam is also, so beginning with humility and finally having darshan of the Tattva, the supreme absolute truth, that is Krishna, this is the path of knowledge. Very simple. You want to start understanding Krishna, then you should think first, I am subordinate to Krishna, and then start the journey. If somebody thinks I am equal to God, I am also as good as God, then he will not be able to progress in this journey. So Tattva Jnanardha Darshanam, having darshan of Krishna is the ultimate path, the object of this path. Etad jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad atho anyadha. Anything other than this is all ajnanam, simply ignorance. So it's an interesting read. Devotees should read this path of knowledge. How do I, they are like staircase, step by step, step by step. There are various steps are there. But ultimately one has to reach this tattva jnana. And in the tattva, the highest is the personality of Godhead, having his darshan. So, actually, there is in Krishna book, there is a pastime of Akrura coming to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So, Akrura was sent by Kamsa. Kamsa has a strategy how to kill Krishna and Balaram. So, using his strategy, he sent Akrura, you go to Vrindavan and get Krishna Balaram, and this will happen. There will be some elephant will come, this will come, that will come. He has made an entire plan, entire strategy by which they can be killed. So Akrura goes to Vrindavan. He informs Akrura is a great devotee. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. He is a great devotee. He knows Krishna's position as a supreme personality of Godhead. So all the while when he was traveling from Mathura to Vrindavan, he is meditating on Krishna and Balaram. When I go there, I can have darshan like this. I can see the Lord's form like this. He will treat me like this. He is anticipating. Actually, that journey of Akrura, Prabhupada explains, is the ideal journey to Vrindavan. Anybody who wants to go to Vrindavan should follow the footsteps of Akrura. How he is meditating on Vrindavan, meditating on Krishna and Balaram. So with so much of eagerness, Akrura reaches Vrindavan, and as he anticipated, Krishna and Balaram reciprocates to him. Then it is settled up that the next morning they will all leave. Of course, there is the gopis comes to know that Krishna and Balaram are about to leave Vrindavan. They are also foreseeing if Krishna and Balaram goes away, they may not come back, and we will not have his darshan. We will not be able to see him every day and enjoy his face, enjoy his form. And they are also thinking, when Krishna and Balaram goes to Mathura, there will be a lot of young girls, young women of Mathura. Then what will happen to Krishna? Maybe he will forget us. Ladies have this, So they are thinking in that direction. And they decide finally. In fact, they will be cursing. In the sense, they will be condemning Akrura's activities. How come he came to take away Krishna Balaram without informing us? He is planning to take them away. And then they criticize Krishna, they criticize Akrura, and they pray to demigods to create some trouble so that Krishna Balaram cannot leave. All that. Finally, nothing is happening, so they come to stop. And somehow, Lord is trying to convince them. They are not convinced. But anyway, finally, the Ratha leaves Vrindavan. On the way, Krishna Balaram desires to take bath in Yamuna. So they park the chariot. Akrura parks the chariot underneath some shade of a tree. Crystal clear. 5,000 years ago, when Krishna Balaram are dipping into the river, it is crystal clear. Crystal clear means you can see what is there in the through the water. You can see what is there on the ground. That clear it is. So they had their bath. They comes back, and they sit in the chariot. And Akrura takes their permission. Even he wants to take bath. And then after taking their permission, he goes there to take his bath. He takes a dip into the river. And then it is a custom that if you are a Brahmana initiated, after taking a dip, 3 dips, you have to remain in the water half submerged, and do your Gayatri. You have to chant your Gayatri on the thread. So Vidura was doing that, and then after that, suddenly he saw Krishna Balaram in the water. Then Akrura got surprised. He thought Krishna Balaram are seated in the chariot. So how come I am seeing here? So he runs back to the chariot to see if Krishna Balaram, they are peacefully seated. They are there also. Then he thought, okay, did I see Krishna Balaram in the river? So again he came back to the river to see if they are there. Yes, they are there. Krishna and Balaram are there. But this time, Balaram is turned into Ananta and Krishna turns into Mahavishnu, lying down, surrounded by various associates. They are offering prayers. And so Akrura has darshan of Vaikuntha and the Vishnu Murti in Vaikuntha. So Akrura gets surprised. He analyzes the Lord's form. There's a description of how Vishnu looks. His all attractive form charms Vidura, charms Akrura. And then, so by seeing the Lord like that, Akrura becomes very, there is an ecstasy in his body. Then he offers prayers. And then after offering prayers, he comes out of the river. And then he goes to the chariot. Again he sees Krishna Balaram there in the regular dress. And so, as soon as they see Akrura, Krishna and Balaram asks him, Akrura, looks like you have seen something wonderful. You appear to be like that. What happened? They ask. So Akrura knows all this. So he says, Yatra adbhutani sarvani bhumau viyativa jale tam tvanu pashyato brahman kim me drustam iha adbhutam. He says, now that I am seeing you, O Supreme Absolute Truth. See, here he is using the word the Supreme Absolute Truth. Darshan means what? This is called Darshan. Now that I am seeing you, O Supreme Absolute Truth, in whom reside all amazing things on the earth, in the sky and in the water, what amazing things could I see in this world? So he is saying, I have seen the most amazing form of yours. What else is there to see? Something amazing in this world. This is the realization of Akrura. So he is saying, Yatra adbhutani sarvani, all adbhutas are there in your form, O Brahman, O Supreme Absolute Truth. Brahman means Supreme Absolute Truth. So what else is there to see? What other adbhutas are there to see? This is the actual darshan of Supreme Absolute Truth. Tattva jnanardha darshanam. This is what Krishna is recommending. This is the ultimate step in this process. If somebody is practicing the process of knowledge as given by Krishna consciousness, the tattva jnanardha darshanam, having darshan of the Supreme Absolute Truth in person. So after having darshan, what is Akrura saying? There is no other wonderful thing to see in this world. So whenever we get attracted to anything wonderful in this world, something beautiful, something attractive, something powerful, something very influential, Akrura is saying, all that sarvani adbhutani, all these wonders I have already seen in you, Supreme Absolute Truth. He will not get charmed by any of these things because he has seen the ultimate Adbhuta, Krishna's original form. And same original form we are seeing every day. Radha Govinda, it's the same. But still, although we have darshan every day, still we get attracted to so many sometimes very trivial things in this world. We get attracted to the trivial things. Completely temporary things. So that's why, it's a very interesting that Prabhupada quotes this verse from the Mandukya Upanishad. He says, Yasmin vijñāte sarvavevam vijñātam bhavati. Yasmin vijñāte. If you know the Supreme Absolute Truth, now you have known everything. If you have seen the Supreme Absolute Truth, that means you have seen everything. All the wonderful things, all attractive things, whatever has to be seen by us, it's already seen if you have seen Krishna. Now people after COVID is over, now everybody wants to see. Now the travel, people are traveling a lot, going here, there. So that's why we are also, floated some pilgrimages so that at least they can go and see the Lord. But seeing means Yasmin vijñāte sarvavema vijñāta. Seeing Krishna means he has no more attraction to this world. That's why Kunti Maharani also says, if I have ever darshan my Lord, then I will not have darshan of the cycle of birth and death. This is what she says. If I have ever darshan, then I will have no more darshan of this cycle of birth and death. What is that sloka? What is that? Vipadaha santuta shashvat tratra jagat guru bhavato darshanam hi yasyat. This is called darshan. If somebody says, I have seen Krishna, I had darshan, then that means that he is completely detached from this world. That is the final result. He has no more attractions in this world. Bhavato darshanam hi sya. Na punarbhava darshanam. Bhava means cycle of birth and death. So this is the secret. We have to have darshan of the Absolute Truth in person. Then you will have no more bhava darshanam. No more darshanam of this cycle of birth and death. So here Maitreya, because he is Bhagavat Chittaha, he is already Krishna conscious. So that's why, although Vidura's question has surprised him, Vidura's question, Choditaha Shatra is astonished by that question, but then initially it appeared that he doesn't know or he cannot answer something like that, but then he immediately regained his composure and then he started answering. So that's why Prabhupada is saying in the end, although a devotee may apparently express himself to be ignorant, devotees are very simple, they appear to be very simple, or they express also, we don't know, I am not a very knowledgeable person. Like if you see physically appearance of Prabhupada, he is a very short person and and a very